These comments from Soros, they are not a leak. They are a message meant for activists to get them into the fight. The president won't. More importantly, he cannot fight unless they do. Do you remember the quote we showed you after the Progressive Conference this summer? Quote, anyone who supports the president can do that by making him do the right thing. Bottom up, top down, inside out. It is up to the activists to give the president a reason to step in, create the chaos. There was another meeting involving the Democracy Alliance. Soros was not at this one. So Soros wasn't there, but Soros sent a surrogate, as he did with us. In fact, the exact same surrogate who delivered the warning, shall we say, to my staff, George Soros' surrogate. He shows up. But who is he with? This time, he came with Van Jones and Trumpka. So you have the knee breakers of the union, and you have the violent communists meeting with Soros's number 2 guy. It wasn't a private event. It was a private event, so we don't know exactly what they talked about. But let me go back to George Soros and the leaked quote from earlier. He said, quote, he's used to fighting losing battles, but doesn't like to lose without fighting. Do those guys know how to fight? My guy saw exactly what happens with a George Soros surrogate. That guy was ready to fight. We were issued threats. Gee, you think? Look, they know who Barack Obama is. This is a ruse where they say, oh, the president's not fighting hard enough. No, I'm sorry, that's not true. They know exactly what's going on. The president has been absent. He didn't move center. He didn't move away. He's just been absent. But Nancy Pelosi, she has stayed exactly where she was. After a miserable defeat, she was reelected to lead the Democrats. Why? Because you must feed the radicals. It's the same reason I said Obama would not go to the center. He cannot, even if he wanted to, which I don't believe he did. Obama, it is my belief that Obama is begging Soros and the left to push him even further. Barack Obama knows he is on the verge of accomplishing the dreams of his father to end American colonialism and fundamentally transform America. He is surrounded by people whose leader, George Soros, has worked his whole life continuing the dreams from his father to change the world. George Soros, thinks he's on the verge of getting that done. He has collapsed economies and entire currencies. They see it as possibly falling apart. I told you that I believe this show may have accelerated their timetable because we've exposed them. But what if they really do believe that Barack Obama is not the guy to get it done? These guys, this is a violent revolutionary. This guy is a labor union with millions of dollars. And also a globalist. This guy, spooky dude. This is why I told you one of my longest standing worries about President Obama was not about the country, not about corruption. It was about his safety. And not because of the Tea Party people, but because the minute these radicals, if they actually decide that Barack Obama is not who he says he is, political danger is not his only concern. I ask you again to pray for our Secret Service. Make sure our Secret Service are watching inside and out. Pray for our president. As I see it, there are a million things that could happen. That's just one of them. There's a million things that could make the entire world fly apart. China's leaders know this as well as ours. But China is expressing many of those concerns out in the open. Why? Because they're not living in fear, as many of our people are. Chinese see what is happening to the world, and they see it as an opportunity. The radical progressives here in America also see it as an opportunity to fundamentally transform America. The only thing that will hold this thing together is you, the people. I showed you earlier this week the Tower of Babel, and I told you the story of this. And I told you that the king, Nimrod, wanted to make everybody into a brick. Just make everybody into a brick. Make them exactly the same. Well, we're not the same. But when you put bricks together, you need something, mortar, in between, hold it together. What was the mortar that held the tower together, the bricks together? Well, Daniel Lapin, the rabbi that was here, said in ancient Hebrew that mortar is materialism. I've told you before, we've got to get rid of our materialistic viewpoint and change the mortar. Because if stuff is the only thing that's holding us together, and quite honestly it is, do our values, do our principles, does God hold us together anymore? How about our common history? How many people who loved America didn't even know our history 2 years ago? What's holding us together? 4 out of 10 Americans now say marriage is outdated and irrelevant. It's almost gone. We've got to change the mortar. If these bricks start flying apart because we lose our materialism, our clothes, our job, our food, if we're focused on the mortar of materialism and that falls apart, we will beg for a strong man to hold it all together. You've got to get involved and prepare. I will show you #1 problem coming and its solution. Next.